Hi! I think I've never made a video in this fashion, but I'm Kopas, as everybody knows. And here, we have a Unipack Power battery. Says Unipack Power, huh? Right here. So, why am I taking this video? I've had this pack for about like 5 years at this point. I've only used them about a year. And that's after Lewis exploded, the battery exploded like 3 times at this point. And I always made a video about it, and well, let's say that I just couldn't bother doing it until now because I was really curious. So here's what I found. The most glaring fact, obviously, these wires are all disassembled because I don't want them to short each other and my apartment burns down in a fucking wall of flame. So, first things up, what the hell are these two electrolyte capacitors doing in the freaking BMS? Like, there's like I can't tell, like, here. This cap literally sits taller than the BMS frame, so like if I put it like this, and then this battery gets shaken up every time, like this cap literally gets touched every time, and it's probably going to deform, which happened to this cat, which is sitting on the corner. Like, you can tell this is literally deformed and it's about to explode, and whatever this pixie dust is, I don't want to know. I smell it. It smells like metal. So yeah. So second of all, well, that's the first. There's second. Oh yeah, that connector. Where's the connector? I think this is the switch connector. Like, I mean, I wouldn't call this like a major thing, but like, this thing wiggles so much, like it was literally about to come apart when I, like take it up. When I took the battery apart, and I don't think I abused it at all because I build batteries fucking myself that are like 10 times larger than this. So yeah, so that's the second thing. Thirdly, I just don't like the size of the BMS. It like this thing probably doesn't even have a like actual thermal dissipation capacity because of this cap just sitting right against the frame that which would result in like this BMS actually not even touching the frame. So like. Yeah. Okay, so, but here's the actual killer part. This is the actual killer. So we turn on the battery right here, and then you can see all the spot weld joints. So if you don't know what spot weld is, because in this industry you don't want to use solder, because if you heat up the solder, if you're doing soldering and then you heat up all the joint, you're obviously going to transfer heat into the cell, and which you don't want to do. So we use a lot of instantaneous power method, which is spot welding. You just basically use a metal of this nickel strip. I hope that's an actual nickel strip. I'd be surprised if it isn't. I wouldn't be surprised if it isn't. And then it basically fuses into the anode and cathode of the cell, whichever side you're spot welding on. So there's a rundown in like 10 seconds. And here's the actual spot weld joint, and you can tell they're not very consistent. Like, what's this cell doing here? Like this is literally touching against each other. This is bad because you want to have some like structure integrity to it, because like I can probably like tap this with a tweezer or something and it would probably just fall apart. And let me know if you can see anything that looks very funny to you. Apart from all the inconsistent spot weld joint and whatever this crap is. Well, this is probably from the fish paper that you use. Oh, that's another thing that I gotta talk about too. Like, okay, like this is like. That's fine. This is more or less even. This is more or less even. This is more or less even. That looks kind of sus. This is not even centered. Like, this is not even centered. This is kind of centered, but it's really close together. And I can tell it's not that hard to spot weld these, unless you're drunk. Like, these are, okay. Oh, wait, look. There's only one spot weld here. Yeah. And then let's see if I can find another one. I'm pretty sure I spotted another one that was also funny. Oh, okay, this is 2. But they're also right against next to each other, and I think they're... There we go, camera. I'm pretty sure that's over penetrated because I can see they're like straight up passing through the strip, which is not what you want to do. That's also really bad. But yeah, this is what I wanted to point out. Like, how bad do you have to be at your job to... Did I spot all this 2 times but exactly on the same spot? I think it is, because I can't tell. But yeah, like, how bad do you have to be at your job to, like, just pull this off? Like, I don't know. And there's another concerning thing that I have to talk about with, like, all these cheap berries. Like, here's a fish paper. Here's another fish paper. Like, where do you see any kind of bonding here? Like, basically the way this berry like protects itself from water is that this is how it works. The berry goes inside, the case. Obviously, you know that. Where else would you put the berry? So it goes in like this, and then it screws itself together using these tools, paper tools right here, which is fine, but they're not good against it on their own because like, look how's in between the cases. Like you could probably sip water in here. If it's just rainwater and it goes on for long enough. Yeah. That's another thing that I really don't want to like buy these berries like or like even these cases because you have to do so many work to like undo the actual design feature of these. They're good for like if you want to build like 100 berries and put them in a case in like 10 minutes. They're probably good because you can just screw them together and then just take these fish papers in. But yeah. Oh, yeah, also this. I love how they have like all the discharge like all the discharge wires on exactly one joint. So like, oh, I hope it doesn't like fall apart. Like if it vibrates too much and then like it just prices apart from whatever this thing is attached to, which is another thing that I actually have to talk about. So there's like 5 things that I feel concerned about with this battery. Yeah, not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5. So you can tell all these cells are in like a spider web joint. We do that because it lowers the internal resistance. If you have more joints across the cells, you get lower resistance because there's more junction for the currents to travel in. Except this last part, which has only 1 strip, and this case here is not even fully enclosed. So like I'm trying to wiggle it out. I can see some movement, but it's obviously not going to come out until I try to force it. I still think it's really freaking bad because if you actually have a case on, then whenever this battery hits against a frame, it wouldn't be the cells touching it, it'll be the cell holder touching it, which would be better than just cells banging against the battery frame. Yeah, so that is the last thing that I want to talk about this garbage battery that you shouldn't buy. And this is Unipack Power Battery, 48 volts, 13 amp hour battery. Is it actually 13 amp hour battery? Let me do the math. This is 2500, 2500, 2500, 2500, 2500. So you're not actually paying for 13 amp hour because 25 times 5 isn't 13, that's actually 12.5. Congrats, I'm scammed. I've been scammed. Well, that's it for today, and I hope you learned something.